And welcome back to the Rally Report podcast. We have a returner to the pod again. I'm super stoked to have him on. Lots have happened since we've last spoke, and we'll dive into. But I'm sure it hasn't been the easiest time. But honestly, just good to have you back on tour, and we've definitely missed you. Welcome back, Moustafa El Sirty.
Good, mate. Thanks. Happy to be back on your podcast again, and I can't wait to get hits.
So, going straight into it, Moustafa, I know you're coming back with vengeance right now, currently ranked 145, which is fucking unbelievably ridiculous, considering that we all know the level of play you can play at. But before we go into the details of that, just let us know how it's been back on the tour. Has it been a bit of an adjustment for you to play like all these professional players on these Challenger Tour matches, or has it been pretty smooth sailing for you? Because I do know you've just won the Madeira 15K and also good results back to back. Tell us a bit about how that adjustment back has been.
Honestly, it was great to be back. It was great to step back on court, do what I used to do my whole life. It wasn't as smooth as I never thought it was going to be smooth. Not gonna lie, but it wasn't easy as it looked like, because people thought that it looks quite easy, but it was not that easy. Obviously had to adjust a lot of things, had to get in my mind that I am not the same person that was playing probably like 10 months ago. I had to adjust a lot of things. So it was not as smooth for myself, but I'm glad that I made it look smooth.
Did you get a protection for the seedings for the tournament? Because I know your ranking has dropped significantly. You're really just coming back.
So when you get banned, you don't really get a protection for your ranking at all. I got to those tournaments because I had points that didn't expire. But obviously, once they expired, I got to 800 something in the world, which was pretty devastating. It was pretty heartbreaking, but nothing I can do about it. I just put my name. I did put my name in those tournaments, Madeira and France, and was just hoping that with those two tournaments, I get step back maybe like 100 something in the world, which I'm glad that I did. I didn't get any protection, but yeah, thank God I still had that tournament back in.
Yeah. Is it frustrating to play the Challenger Tours again, considering you kind of towards beginning of this year or end of last year, you were kind of graduated from that and you're consistently the platinums? Is it weird to have that adjustment? Is it frustrating? Where's your mind at right now with it?
It is exciting, not gonna lie. It is good to be obviously winning tournaments back. Yeah, this is not my goal, but it was just it is what it is, and you gotta move with it. End of last year, I was just not playing any Challenger Tours anymore. Almost getting to third round or second round of each platinum event. It was I did put myself in somewhere where I was like, all right, this is pretty decent. Like I can just move from there. But what happened? Got knocked out back then. Now here in the Challenger Tour again. So it is exciting in a way, but it's obviously devastating in a way, because I just want to get back to where I was as quick as possible. So.
On a percentage scale, where do you think you are from where you were when you left off versus where you are right now in your squash skills?
I wouldn't say far off. I wouldn't say far off at all, because I do believe that your mind controls a lot of what you do. So if you believe in that you're far from there, then you're gonna play in a level that you're far from there. But if you still believe that you belong there, which I proved to myself kind of in a way. I don't see myself far from where I was. Maybe not the same person, or not the same kind of like player, not the same way of playing, but definitely not far enough from it.
I guess another thing that I was really curious about was, how has training been for the past, before you were able to be back on the PSA? Did you make some major changes in your game? Was it a time for you to step back, or did you really just keep going at it, getting as many practice matches as possible? How do you approach this time?
Obviously, when you're banned, you're not allowed to train at all. That's something that obviously I didn't understand in the beginning, but a lot of people have spoken with me about this, and they've told me that. So in the first 3 months, I was not training at all.
They don't let you train?
No, you're not allowed to train. You're not allowed to use any facilities that is related to the WSF, which is
Okay.
devastating. Obviously, like you're not allowed to play, you're not allowed to train. So I was not even allowed to get to the courts. So I was not allowed to be seen in the courts. So yeah.
Oh shit, that's fucking okay. That's
Yeah. So for the first 3 months, I was not doing much at all. Just probably like went twice to like a gym near to my house or something, or 3-4 times. Was not doing anything, and then moved to Dubai because they are private organizations, so they basically have like,
Oh.
private courts. So was able to go there, obviously in flying deaf. Massive shout out for them. Which I started like from scratch again, where I was just like 3-4 months out, not doing anything, just starting all over again. And yeah, I tried to build up a little bit, but it was not as easy because I couldn't play with a lot of players. I couldn't, not because there was not, but because you don't want to put risk on players as well.
If they're seen hitting with you, that could be them in trouble. Okay.
You don't want to put any risk on them. You don't want to put them in a position where they're like, oh, this is a bit risky. But yeah, in Dubai, I kind of like kicked off again. When I got back to the UK, it was kind of hard as well because I had to stay for like a month and a half without playing squash, or just playing like maybe once a week, and like somewhere quite far. So yeah, it was quite hard, but kept my level of fitness in. Went to the gym, just going to the gym every day. Tried to just stay as fit as possible. When I got the decision, I really didn't have much time to improve a lot of things. I didn't really have much time to change a lot of things. It was just like kick off. You have to start where you are at the moment, kind of.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't say I made a lot of changes, but I do believe that I made a lot of changes in my head.
Tell us more about this Dubai thing. I know the flying DAF thing was really kind of exploding on the social media end of things, with players giving the promotion. And did they reach out to you? Did you find them and realize that there is an opening there, that you have an opportunity to train? How did that all come about?
It was kind of like mutual. Didn't know anything about it. Like, I obviously heard about them before going there, but I didn't really think about it at all because I didn't know that they were a private organization as well. It was through a mutual, like it was a coach there. His name is Abdurrahman El Sirty. It's just like he was going there. He was talking to me. He was like, "Yeah, let's go together." I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And since then, they are probably at the moment the biggest people who support me at the moment. Going there in 2 days. Yeah, it is. They just want to do squash in a whole different way. They're trying to get players to stay there. Obviously, Dubai is such an amazing city to be in, and they are such nice people. Like Kenzie and Khalid, they are amazing people. So nice, so welcoming. They're trying to do everything for me. They're trying to help me in every single aspect, squash wise, mental wise, physical wise, financial wise. Even like it was all like amazing there. So yeah, I do believe that they're gonna go somewhere because of the professionalism of the things that they are doing and the way that they're operating things. And yeah, obviously, I'm gonna try to help them to reach that as fast as possible.
Did you watch squash during this period on the PSA? Or were you like, "Fuck this! I don't even want to watch this"?
I did watch,
Yeah.
but it was kind of painful. It was painful seeing, like it is hard to see that the things that the thing that you want to do the most you just can't do, and a lot of people are doing. No matter if you're a jealous person, not a jealous person, or all of the things, it kicks in your head, and you just be like, "Ah, this is pretty tough." And yeah, at some point I'll be like, "Fuck it, like I don't want to watch it, and I don't want to be there. I don't want to give a shit about this." But at the end of the day, it's squash, and this is the sport that I've been playing for like almost now 16, 17 years, and now I still am playing it. So, and I love it and all of the things. So yeah, I did watch it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we go into it? Why don't we get into the big headline? So candidly, to give some context for the audience out there. So, Moustafa, you got a ban from PSA due to doping, testing positive for a substance, which had you serve a 6-month ban from March of this year to October, which you returned. And for further context, you're coming off a very strong year last year, reaching highest world ranking of 22 in the world. And then boom, he disappears fans, audience don't know where he went. And then we kind of get an article that he accepted a 6-month ban. So we're out in the loop. We didn't know what happened. And I think a lot of people who asked these questions that were saying, where did Moustafa go? Why did he get banned? But I wanted to give you an opportunity to say your side of things and how this all went down on your end from the get-go.
Yeah, like I was playing the World University Championship in Egypt. It was held in November. I was quite sick. Going like from England to Egypt, I got really sick. I went to my doctor, prescribed me like a prescription, like a cough medication. I didn't really know anything. I'm not a person who takes a lot of medication during the tournament as well. So yeah, I took that medication for like 3 times. After the final match, I got tested, and I even wrote the medication on the paper. Like I wrote everything that I took. I don't take any whey proteins. I don't take any like anything where like any kind of like supplements. So it was for me just the medications that I take, my allergy medication and that medication that I took for my cough. Passed on completely fine for two months, I think. Yeah, 2 months. Was completely fine. Was just getting on. Got to 3rd round at TOC. Played Houston. Went to TOC. Had my first round. And before my first round, I just got an email saying from an organization called the ITA. So I was like, I don't know what's that. I'm a person who, and it has like on the email it has like a football logo. So I was like a football thing, a soccer thing. I was like, yeah, probably I'm a person who, if I want to watch a football match, I'll put my email on and all of these things. So I was like, probably one of the things. But when I opened it was like confidential. So I was like, oh, all right. And then I opened the draft, and I was like, what is that? Like, what is he talking about? Like, I remember I had my ex-girlfriend at the time. She was like, she was with me at the time, and was like, what is this? Like, I don't understand anything. And then, yeah, sent it straight to Marwan Shorbagy. And then he texted me. He said, you need a lawyer. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, look, take this number, call this guy, and he's gonna explain everything. So spoke with the guy. He said to me, yeah, this you've tested positive for this substance. It's a drug substance that has been found in one of the medications that you wrote, which can be up to 2 years. So I was like, what are you all talking about? Like, what is that? And yeah, I didn't really understand anything. I kept talking to a lot of people. Someone gave me the phone number of the woman who's controlling the NADU for the doping organization in Egypt. I spoke with her and I said like, yeah, I have a prescription from the doctor. Like, can that like take it off? She says, no, it doesn't work like that. You need to do something called TUI. So the TUE is a therapeutic use of exemption. It's like you're allowed to take this medication because you have a specific condition or you're sick or whatever, but it also has like a time frame. So you cannot be like, okay, I'm going to apply for a TUE for your whole life. It's just a specific frame. But you usually apply for it before you take the medication, which I obviously didn't do because I didn't know that this medication had anything in it. Went on, applied, obviously didn't know what I need to be applying for the emergency TUE application. So got rejected, went and got a proper, like a lawyer and stuff. And then we tried to do another one. And this is like, long story short, tried to do another one. It took us like a long time because they wanted...
Wait, so you could explain it long. I mean, I'm super fascinated here. Is this now? This is in the timeline of things. This is around like February. Like
yeah.
Hustling and bustling all this.
Yeah, this is February time. So when I got that lawyer, it was in the Squash and Fire tournament, and she was like, "You need to stop playing because it's not good. Any tournament you're gonna be playing, if this TUE didn't get accepted, you will take a 0 for each tournament that you're gonna play, and you'll have to pay the money back. So you'll be like." Right, she did nothing. So she was like, and also, you need to stop playing because any ban you're gonna take is gonna be taken off of your of the time that he served. So the time if he served is going to be taken off of any ban. So I was like, all right, then it's fair enough that I need to stop playing. So after the Squash on Fire tournament, I said, okay, I'm gonna stop playing. I'm gonna suspend myself. Then I was suspending myself, and yeah, and see how things go with that TUE thing. Suspended myself completely. They accepted my suspension on the 10th of March, and tried to apply for another TUE. They asked me for a lot of things, like if you have it, like they need a proof that, like, obviously they're not just gonna grant a TUI for someone who just say I'm sick, all of these things. You need to have proofs. I had proofs of like prescriptions from my doctor, like medical reports saying that I actually do have that quite often, all of these things, but it was not a good proof for them. They needed me to be an asthmatic to take that medication. They needed all of this, like, proof things that that they wanted. So couldn't do anything about it. Just said I don't have it, and then they denied my TUI. But they took around like 2.5 months responding to that TUI, so which is quite a long time, because the first one got rejected in like 2 days. So I was like, all right, what's the plan now? That lawyer I was with, she said, you're probably looking around maybe 16 months, 18 months. So I was like, that's a long time. Like,
that's not okay.
Exactly, that's not okay. Luckily, when I was in Dubai, I met a guy there in the academy, a young boy who was like coaching a little bit. His dad is a lawyer, so I gave him, his name is Badr. He works in Misan Partners, which they took my case from there. Super professional people. Obviously, with the help of ITA as well, it went smoother. But when they took my case, they just tried to show that I actually didn't mean to take anything. I didn't have any idea. I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't have any kind of thought that this medication is going to have any kind of, drug or anything that's going to enhance my performance. I think that was in August, beginning of August. They responded to the ITA saying that they are my lawyers now, blah blah, all of these things. We started negotiating. I got my first agreement. So I was basically getting sued by two, two parts: the WSF, which is the World Squash Federation, and the World University Federation. So the World University Federation, what they wanted was to disqualify all my results. So I said, all right, go ahead, disqualify. Just, I at that time, the main thing was going through my head is to just get me on. Like, tell me how long do I need to be banned for? Tell me how long am I going to be suspended
Nothing
for?
was clear.
There was nothing clear, which was getting in my head. It was by far, the most, like, the toughest time in my life. It was just like, I don't know what is going to happen. Like, I don't know what to expect tomorrow. I don't know what to expect in a year. Because probably in a year, I could be in the same position that I am at the moment. So that was what was going through my head at that moment. Yeah, just they disqualified my results. I was like, yeah, completely fine. Yeah, sure, go for it. And then I got the other appendix, which is the WSF, which is the real talk. Because here I could be suspended for like 2 years. So my lawyers reached out to the ITA, they spoke, they tried to get an agreement, and then we got an agreement. I think we sent our response on the probably like 20th of September, something like this, saying that, yeah, stating that every single thing in me didn't know that I took a banned substance, that I didn't know anything about it, that it was a complete mistake, that my doctor gave it to me and he was just unaware of what is this medication, basically. So yeah, just So I have 3 lawyers, which Salma, Tariq, and Badr, and honestly, all of them were just trying to do everything they can um, to just get me through, to at least to let me know how long I'll be taking. Obviously, with those type of cases, you try to link other cases to yours, and that's what they did as well in my response. Is to try to get cases that took the same substance and took like a low period of time of suspension. So they responded. They said that we need X amount of times. ITA didn't agree, and then they said to us, "Yeah, we can agree on 6 months, but every single tournament that I played since the day that I got tested would be taken off from me." Which, for me, understanding that I'm gonna start over again. So yeah, that was the big deal out of it. Like this was the big deal, because basically now you're just suspending me for a year.
Do you know what substance they were accusing you of? And
Yeah, it's called terbutaline. Terbutaline. It's like, I don't know how. Just open up your chest. That's what happened.
I see.
So I had like really, really, really hard cough, and I was not able to breathe. All of these things. So that's why my doctor gave me that medication. And then it is just banned. And like for me, like to write it on the paper, that just shows that I have absolutely no clue that it has anything.
Right.
If I wanted to hide anything, I would have just not written it down and let them find.
You wrote down your own crime there. I took this.
Yeah, exactly. It's just imagine them saying like,
it makes no sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense that I took something that I knew of. And yeah, that was it. Got the email on the 9th, I think, 10th of October, somewhere like that. That they agree on this, sign off. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sign off in that straight away. So yeah, that's the whole story. But yeah.
Wow. I mean, thank you for sharing that. How often do you get drug tested as a PSA player?
Honestly, I got drug tested. I got only once on PSA. This was my third in my whole life. Like, this was my third ever test. I got one in World Juniors in 2019 after the final, and I got one in, I think, British Open 2022 as the British.
So you're kind of getting drug tested on a yearly basis on the timeline. You're getting drug tested every year, it seemed like. 2021, 2022.
Like when you go through the whereabouts, like when you go in the list of the test, like I think you get tested around like each month. I was just speaking with Nada Abbas yesterday, and she was just saying like, yeah, they probably like testing me like once a month now. Yeah.
Are they testing you more often? Do you think that's probably good to do now?
Probably, if I'm gonna go play on the big tour, yeah, they'll probably do that. But the thing is, like, it's needless. Like, I don't think, like, obviously, like the 2 times that I got tested before, I didn't hear anything. I didn't have anything in it, which is what's supposed to happen. But like, with what happened to me is just quite unfortunate, because sick, got a cough medication, wrote it down. Like, it was just a whole bunch of like nonsense.
Yeah. So PSA doesn't intervene. Did you have anyone to reach out to in the PSA being like, hey, I honestly am just a little lost on what to do right now? Were you able to reach out, or did anyone reach out to you being like, hey, would love to like at least help you, walk you through this process?
There is nothing, like at the end of the day, there is nothing they can do. Like, they're not going to tell me, okay, we're going to put you back in 22 in the world, like it is what it's for me. Like, when I was thinking about it now, and I was just like, before like the tournaments and stuff, I was just like, just imagine like you got injured for a year. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
And I just took those 2 tournaments that I played as the kind of like the previous ranking thing, the PR thing. I just said, all right, this is probably like my chance now to stop myself from hustling in like satellites and all of these things, and trying to play 5Ks and all of this stuff. So I just said like, yeah, I'm gonna just try to win a 15K and try to win both, maybe, if I can. But it was just, there is nothing that the PSA can do. It's only in my hand in the moment. So at the end, it was all in my hand, but obviously I didn't know anything about it in the beginning. But there's nothing much I'm expecting from them, but nothing much they can do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Curious to hear, because I remember when I spoke with Nada about it, she was saying one of the weird things is, do you feel like your fellow peers on the PSA have been treating you weirdly after this ban, or have some of them been supportive? Like, how's that?
Yeah, I got a couple of comments. Comments where, like, I don't know how to say this, but people don't really understand how tough it is, and how your head can go crazy when, like, you're going through this time, especially if you didn't do anything. Like, I got a comment in Madeira, for instance, about it. Like, I got a comment, of course, like in a match about it. Like, I was like, all right, like, this is like childish. Like, it doesn't make any sense that you're just gonna be like cheating me about it, like, or bullying me kind of about it, because at the end of the day, in my eyes, or in my head, or in the truth is that I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I didn't take something that I knew of because I wanted to be a better player. Like, I didn't need that. At the end of the day, like, I didn't. I don't think it did anything to me. I was just
frustrating.
Sick. So I do believe it, and I'm expecting a lot worse. Like, and that's the thing about it.
Sure.
A lot worse. Like, I'm actually quite surprised that now I just got like maybe a comment or two about it. But I'm expecting so much worse. The first one of them I didn't really take well. Like, the first one I responded back, but the second one I just laughed about it, because there's nothing much you can say.
They both happened in Madeira?
No. One of them I had a box, like the university one of the matches, and I got it, and the other one was in Madeira. So I was like,
what are just players telling you, like, oh, you take substance?
Yeah, you just got banned. So, yeah. One told me you're the one who got banned, and the other one was just like, next time don't take cough medication. So I was like, next time don't worry. I got my lesson.
No more cough medication.
Like, it is funny when you think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Well, I appreciate you saying the story. Hopefully, this gets more aware, because I don't think a lot of people realize how quickly this can unravel. I got a lot of people were like asking, like, where the fuck you are? Like, where are you now? I was like, I wish I'm there now, but I just can't, it was, it was just a lot of people didn't understand what was going on, and obviously it was not like there was nothing much to just go and say, like, and there was so many rumors and so many things, and I got one time someone talking to me, like, one of the players was talking to me and just like, did you take 2 years? I was like, 2 years? Now you know something that I don't know of, and I don't like, that would scare me.
Like, it was just like, I think it was Mazen who just called me and was like, did you take 2 years? I was like, what? I didn't take 2 years. No, the fuck no. I said, like, I heard a lot of people thinking that I just got 2 years, and I heard like so many people take it like, he took like a steroid or whatever. There was a lot of rumors, but obviously no one knows anything, and there was nothing that I'm gonna go and just type on my social media or just type a post saying, all right guys, like, this is what happened. Like, I just couldn't say that. So but I do believe that I said what I should have said after I knew that I'm fine, and that was it.
Well, glad to have you back on the tour. That's for sure.
I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back.
Want to shift gears here a bit. I don't want to continue bothering you on this story. I'm sure you've told like 100 people about it, but wanted to talk to you about you. So you're currently based in England. You're in uni. Is that correct? In Birmingham. I'm curious to hear what led to that decision, and I ask this because I see these a lot of good Egyptian players switching nationalities to England, with the Shorbagy brothers. And I'm curious to hear. Is that something on your mind right now?
Can't really say it's not in my mind.
Uh-huh.
Can't really say that it's something that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do that. Like, don't really want to think about it like that.
Hmm.
I honestly don't know what's gonna happen because obviously, Egypt is my country and I want to be playing for my country my whole life. But the like, I understand what Muhammad and Marwan has gotten into. Like, they've been living here for like mostly more than half of their life. They've been living here, and when you come and speak about Muhammad Shorbagy in England, is like you're speaking about someone who's quite important. My decision of coming to the UK has been just basic that I just want to study, and I do believe that there's life after being a squash player.
Mm.
I want to be the best squash player that I ever could possibly be, 100%. But after you stop playing squash, you're still a human and you're not a squash player anymore. And I don't want to go. I want to experience something else in my life after. So that's the main thing why I came to the UK. Probably people were like quite surprised about it, but for me it was just the decision that I think is also good for my future after squash.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, uni here is quite nice. There's a lot of people around. There's Paul in Birmingham sometimes. Joel is here. Yao is almost close. A lot of people like now going to Pontefract with James and stuff. So it's close to leagues. It's closer to travel as well. And also, like, there's not many people in Egypt. Like, most of coaches went to the States. Most of players are traveling.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is just going abroad. So it's just like for me now, looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, now I'm feeling so much better about the decision because I'm not gonna be like, I don't want to be staying there and struggling and say, okay, I didn't get the education and I didn't get this, like, now, and I don't have squash, so like now I kind of have, I'm in the middle ground. So yeah, it is something that I think a lot of people are gonna start doing in the future because everyone's leaving, right?
Yeah. Such for Egypt, but I mean, I guess it was the right move. I'm curious to hear about how these leagues work. I know we had some scheduling issues with, you had to do some league participation in Europe.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people are aware of how prevalent they are in Europe. I think a lot, especially as someone who's from the US side of things, I'm not really aware, but would love to hear how that works. What's the appeal on it? Like how fun it is and such.
Honestly, so much fun. It's easy as well. So like I only play for two. I only play two leagues in Europe, which are German league and Dutch league. I was just in Dutch league last week, last Wednesday. And it's just, you go and play a match, get paid, have a fun night with team, with like the people in there, travel the next day. So it's like, it's a 1 day thing. In Germany, it's a weekend where you play just 2 matches and then you leave. So like, it's good money for players who are based in Europe. It's good.
I didn't know you get paid. I didn't know you get paid for it.
No, you definitely do. Yeah, you do. And obviously, it's also like kind of like negotiations. You try to find a good club that you have a chemistry with, and then they pay you quite good money as well. It's all also about the person you are, like, it's not just about, oh, this club is just going to give me so much money, so I need to just go there. Yeah, maybe he's going to give me so much money, but it's just in one match. So you need to figure out like a good club that you want to play with and all of these things. Obviously, like, the people in the club, they just love to, like, the members of the club, they just want to come watch good players play squash, fun times. Nothing. Obviously, it's like you have to take it serious because those people are like coming here to watch something kind of like serious. It's not an exhibition, but like you still like trying to enjoy it and just trying to have fun a bit.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
I had like Dutch league. It was quite good. And yeah, that's how it goes.
Nice. I was just always curious how those work. But yeah, glad you told me a bit about it. Moustafa, I know that we've already done the quickfire segment with you last time, and so I've added something. I'm not going to do that quickfire thing again, but want to do another section with you, which is just build the perfect player. I'll ask you a bunch of players and get your insight on which players you pick and why. And also, no shame in picking yourself in any of these questions, so feel free to say yourself. But start with a favorite best forehand in the game right now.
Favorite best forehand in the game right now? Diego. What about Diego's forehand? Do you like the best? So smooth. Like, I think he's so smooth when he's hitting the ball, so clean. You don't often see him like scrappy in the middle or struggling somewhere, like with the corners and things. So I think with the forehand as well, it's quite smooth and it's quite solid. So yeah, definitely.
Nice. Forehand. How about backhand?
I'll pick mine all day long.
Yours? Hell yeah.
Yeah, all day long.
And then movement.
Ali Farhan. Like, I'll try not to pick him, but you cannot not pick him. You know what I mean? It's so obvious that he's gonna be like just easy. Like, it's so easy for him to get everywhere. Just feel he's everywhere.
That's fair. About best hands in the game.
Oh, touch. Yeah. Who was I talking to about this like a couple of days ago? Best, like, for me, best hands is either Mazen or Yusuf Ibrahim. Like Mazen things are just Mazen things, but also Gawad. But I do believe Gawad is like a whole package thing. It's not just the hands; it's just hands, movement, tactics,
natural player. Yeah,
exactly. But with Mazen, like, hands are just definitely Mazen or Ibrahim. Like, Yusuf was just
Nice. How about best volleyer in the game?
Volleyer. Wolfsburg.
God damn it! Just your world number one.
He like and like those are. I think those are like the main two things about him. Is just his movement and his just. If you just leave something loose in the court, he's not going to volley it. It's just going to be on it.
How about best trash talker?
Trash talker.
Yeah.
Trash talker.
It doesn't even be best. Someone who talks a lot on court. Tries to get in your head.
Talks
under your skin.
Like,
talks a lot.
Talks a lot with you or talks a lot in general?
In you on the court.
In the court. Yeah. I've heard Muhammad is like.
He'll say some things.
Yeah, he'll say some things, but I've heard that a lot, but I never experienced it myself. I only played with him once, and he just said to me one comment, so it was not that bad. And it was not a bad comment, so it was fine. So I didn't really.
Is there usually a lot of talking between players on the court? I'm always curious.
I'm like a person who starts talking, but if you're gonna talk to me, I'm just gonna respond.
You'll talk.
Yeah.
Back, yeah.
But yeah, I can't really say trash talker, but probably a French player.
Those French players talk a lot.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but I never had like a massive trash talk, so I cannot say one. But I do believe that there's a lot of like talking, like in general, there is a lot of people who talk, like with you, with the ref, with everyone. There's a lot of them, but trash talking, I cannot pick one. No.
I see. How about like best dress player?
Dress
style that fashion, encore fashion.
Abu Gar has a really good
those Nikes.
Those Nikes one,
yeah,
he rocks them really well. Paul, I do believe Paul is quite dressed nicely. I do like Paul's dressing.
Maybe he'll sponsor you with his clothing line.
Huh?
Maybe he'll sponsor his clothing line with you.
Yeah,
maybe. But and the last one is best mental game.
It's gotta be Muhammad, isn't it?
It's gotta be. Everyone picks him. Yeah,
it gotta be. Yeah, I think mental game, not mental strength.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, how about for both?
Mental strength, I do believe Muhammad. Mental game is definitely Marwan. All day long.
Have you experienced it playing him?
No, because Marwan is like kind of, I don't know how to say this. It feels weird, but he's been like kind of like my mentor-ish. Like it's not like that,
I
but
see.
it's like really good friends. But he always gives me a lot of advice. Like
Is
when
it
I was
because you moved to the UK, or even before
no,
then?
no,
He always
even before. Uh, he was one of the people who supported my move to the UK massively as well.
Mm.
Like he was one of the people that I asked in the beginning about moving to the UK. But he's one of the people who supported it a lot. Like was just on it quite a lot. Um, but with Marwan, it was just always like I would speak with him about something, and like for instance, there was time like in 2022 where I lost a couple of bad matches, and Marwan would call me and say like a lot of shit to me, like you're basically like he once told me like you're basically playing like shit. Like you have to understand that now.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, like I do I do feel like me and Marwan are really close, and he can like he 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 says things that happened to him, which is basically happening to me at the moment. So I do believe that
Mm.
okay, like he understands what's going on through my head. He understands what I'm feeling. He understands what I'm seeing at the moment or what I do feel at the moment because obviously he's a lot older, but have experienced those things that I'm passing through. So yeah, I do love talking to Marwan, and I do believe that he understands me really well in a way that he would be telling me something that he knows it's true, and I know it's true, but I would never
Yeah.
admit it to him.
I mean, that's
Obviously,
yeah.
through the whole time, like I'm not gonna lie, Nada and Marwan, they were just like I probably was speaking with Marwan every day. Like it was just like, what's news, no news. Like they'll be like telling me what's gonna happen now, what's not gonna happen now. So, but especially Marwan, because Marwan is the one who like guided Nada as well. He was just like on it. Like I was surprised because a lot of people that kind of let me down in that time.
Hmm.
I was kind of surprised of how Marwan was like supportive in a way, and how other players were like kind of like supportive in a way because I really didn't expect that from them. So yeah,
That's so nice.
I would definitely pick Marwan in the
That's
mental game.
that's such a nice anecdote about him. I mean, if Marwan's telling you you're playing like shit, you're playing like shit. That's all it is. Like,
Yeah, I remember I was in Qatar and he was just like telling me like, yeah, why not top 20, top 10 player, and you're because
yeah.
you're playing this shit. And I was like, right, cheers, mate.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, Mustafa, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I definitely, hopefully, it was good for you to kind of say that story on your end. I'm
so,
just glad that you did, and just super happy that you're back
yeah.
as a
Thank
fan.
you so much, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
getting me on again. Obviously, it's good to obviously talk to you, and hopefully next time we'll be speaking about something different.
sounds good.